Well, good morning, everyone, and welcome. Thank you all for joining us today. I first want to thank my interpreter, Hannah, and later interpreter Chelsea will be joining us to make sure those who have hearing impairments will be able to also participate in this important conversation and workshop. Like you, I wish we could gather in the old administration theater or in our main theater, and we will be together soon. But until then, these tiny little boxes and the technology that has kept us all moving forward will have to suffice. So again, I want to thank our faculty and our for helping our students. They're been so dedicated throughout this year in assisting our tenacious and fast forwarding students on their path. I'm really glad you joined us today and taken some time out of your morning. This is going to be a wonderful day. We have quite an agenda for you, but first, as we start many of our events, it's kind of a tradition here at Fresno City College, we start with gratitude. So I want to thank all of the Fresno City College staff who've helped our students throughout this year. And I also want to express my gratitude and thanks and just a sense of pride that I have in our resilient students for continuing on the path. All of you are great, and I'm proud to be your president. I also want to express my sincere thanks to all of our Zoom wizards, our classified professionals, our counselors, and our peer mentors, all of whom have been working on this event for many, many months. Mark Tabay, Susie Nitzel, Hugo Olage, Victoria Rocha, Alex Banda, Gloria Flores, and Cecilia Martinez, and of course, Ray Ramirez. We are incredibly grateful for you for working to make this event, which is going to be a stellar event. And of course, Dr. Cassandra Little, our systems impact expert and our consultant. She's the interim chief executive officer at the Fresno Metro Black Chamber of Commerce here in Fresno. We're so grateful to have you as our friend and partner over these last several months. And we're really want to say congratulations again, as you are going to be leading the Fresno Metro Black Chamber. Thank you for being with us today. So again, I say welcome to Fresno City College. This is the Fostering Success of Formerly Incarcerated Students on Campus Symposium, but we are talking about rising scholars. That's who we're talking about, our rising scholars. Our themes for today is to educate, encourage, and empower. And I want to talk just a moment about Fresno City College. We are a proud partner in the Chancellor's Office Rising Scholars Network, which is a network of community colleges across this great state. Our college serves students who are formerly justice involved right now, we're actually holding classes in the Juvenile Justice Center, and we've been working directly with our students. While these events across the nation, especially today, I would be remiss if I didn't talk about the impact that's had. Right now, this workshop of hope and promise is being played against the backdrop of the murder trial of George Floyd. And almost every night we hear about another violent attack. We've seen soldiers who serve our nation be pulled over and sprayed with pepper spray. And we see people wrongfully killed. And even here locally, just down the street at the Tower Theater, protesters are confronted by the Proud Boys. So much hate, so much hate. And all of this is on top of a pandemic that we know has disproportionately impacted communities of color and formerly incarcerated individuals. And we know this because many have reported that they had to stop out of college for a while because they had to focus on surviving and providing for their family. Maybe they had to drop a lot of courses. Maybe they're taking one or two courses. To those students who may be watching us, I want to let you know we've been here for 100 years. We will be here for you when you return. And we know you will return. Because we know that you are resilient. And your life experiences really underscore the importance of the Rising Scholars Program, which we are dedicated to. So for all of you who are here today, who are frustrated and angry about the systemic racism and the hate that we see played out too often on the media. It is today, it is time today that we explicitly and continually recommit ourselves to racial justice and radical compassion. And we articulate a plan for ourselves and for our college and for our community for change. And that's exactly what the Rising Scholars Program does. It's what it's all about: radical justice and radical compassion. And really, it's about answering a call for action, for us to clarify the path for our students, to create ways for our rising scholars so they can understand it and know it without having to disclose first their history to strangers. It's about entering the path, going back to college, and making sure that we have peer-to-peer introductions between new and existing rising scholars to create a network. And we help our students stay on the path. And we do that by being proactive in student engagement and support. And of course, we ensure learning because we are California's first community college, educating the community for over 100 years. We're dedicated to amplify student voices on campus, remaining mindful to avoid students having to perform, but rather tell their stories from a place of strength. And we try to compensate our students as often as possible for telling and sharing their inspiring stories. We're dedicated to elevating student voice so they should not have to exploit their experiences, but rather empower other students so they can share their knowledge as experts and actually be leaders of change. That's what we're going to hear today about leaders of change. While I'm the president, yes, there are many leaders here at Fresno City College, and I'm proud that today you're going to hear from a lot of them. And I believe all of you are working as hard as you can to do just that and more. So today we're going to hear about some exciting examples about how you, our Fresno City College students and staff and faculty, have been answering the call to action. And that call to action, ladies and gentlemen, came from our chancellor, Chancellor Eli Oakley. It is my pleasure to introduce one of the best state chancellors I believe we've ever had. Eloy really embodies what it means, the impact of California community colleges in terms of transforming lives. He grew up in South LA in the mid-70s to 80s. He's the son of a US citizen father who was schooled in Mexico and a mother of a Mexican immigrant. After serving bravely at 4 years in the Army, he enrolled in Golden West College and then transferred to the University of California, Irvine, where he earned his bachelor's degrees a bachelor degree in environmental analysis and design and a master's degree in business administration. Chancellor Oakley has served as our chancellor since December of 2016. He is a powerful and ardent advocate for the vision for student success. He's got a clear-eyed, honest look of where we're going and where we need to go and where we're falling short. He's brave enough to tell us how to get there and sometimes gives us a kick to make sure we're doing it. I have to say, the Vision for Success has really been a brilliant document about how we can go together and do better for our state and our communities. He's a trailblazer. He's been acknowledged by so many organizations, appointments to California Forward Leadership Council, the California Summit, the Fair Shake Commission, the California Community College Commissions on Future of American Association of Community Colleges for the 21st Century. And more recently, he was honored by Diverse Issues in Higher Education, who announced Chancellor Oakley being awarded the 2021 Diverse Champions Award. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my distinct honor and pleasure to bring our friend and our Chancellor, Eloy Oakley, to the stage. Good morning, Chancellor.
All right, good morning, good morning. Thank you, Carol. Thank you for that warm welcome. Although you did say I was one of the best chancellors you've worked with, I'm gonna have to work on that one.
Number one.
No, seriously, I have the pleasure of following some great chancellors, and it's a privilege to be with you. It's always great to be with Fresno. You all are such an amazing beacon in the Central Valley and throughout the state for the work that you're doing. And so This day is no surprise. This commitment that you've made to formerly incarcerated students is no surprise to me, because this is what Fresno does. So thank you, Fresno City College. Thank you for all of the advocates and champions for our formerly incarcerated students. Thank you to Dr. Ray Ramirez for his leadership, and for all that you do. A few more thank yous, and then I'm going to say a few words and then get out of your way so that you can hear some amazing stories. I also have to give a thanks to a friend of formerly incarcerated students in the state assembly, Assembly Member Kevin McCarthy. I don't want to confuse the two McCarty and McCarthys. One is very different. But every time I go see him, which is often, the first words out of his mouth are, how can we continue to support rising scholars? So that's always a pleasure to hear, especially coming from somebody who is responsible for the higher ed budget in the assembly. So I want to give him a shout out and thanks for his support of rising scholars. And of course, I want to thank your keynote speaker today, Danny Murillo, for coming on and inspiring you all and telling his story. So thank you, Danny, for sharing your time and experiences with this group. This program epitomizes, your efforts epitomize what we talk about when we talk about the vision for success, when we talk about the call to action. We want to center everything that we do in equity. And there is no greater example of the importance of equity than in programs like Rising Scholars, where we are literally trying to, in a sense, go back in time and rewrite some of the wrongs that led to the individuals that we're serving today become justice involved. I know growing up in Southeast LA, I was always moments away from becoming justice involved. I was very involved with the LA County Sheriffs, but fortunately for me, that was the extent of it. But at any given time, at any given day, I would have been in the justice system like many of my friends were, many of my family members were growing up at that time and in that place. And sometimes it's just about being in the wrong place at the wrong time, but you pay for it for a long time. And so I'm very proud of the work that you all are doing, creating opportunity for those who have not had the opportunity, allowing individuals to come back and gain a foothold in the economy, because without a college credential, the likelihood of their success staying out of the justice system gets less and less. So I really appreciate the work that you all are doing. You all are a clear example for the rest of the state of what it means to be centered in equity and to do the hard work that needs to be done to make California a better place, to make California a more equitable place. And at no time in our history has this been more important than today. As we recover from the pandemic, as we recover from the racial reckoning that continues to grip our nation, that we continue to see examples of, your work will lay the path for our recovery, a recovery with equity. So I want you to know that on behalf of the California Community Colleges Board of Governors, the Chancellor's Office, and our colleagues and supporters in the state legislature and in the governor's office, I want you to know that we are all very proud of the work that you're doing. And I hear about it a lot in my travels, about the work that's happening with our justice involved students. So keep up the great work. I know we're only scratching the surface, but I can assure you that we're going to continue to advocate for more resources, for more opportunities for our formerly incarcerated students, and for the opportunity for colleges like Fresno City College to do what they do best, which is serve our most amazing, talented students, regardless of where they're coming from. and give them the opportunity to demonstrate that talent in our neighborhoods, in our communities, and throughout the state. So you have some great people in front of you that are going to talk to you about the work that's happening. Just know that I and my team are 100% behind you, and we're going to continue to do everything we can to lift the work that you're doing and to highlight the work that you're doing and to hold you up as an example. So thank you, Fresno, for all the work that you're doing. And with that, I will get out of your way and turn it over to Dr. Ray Ramirez.
Many thanks, Chancellor. We really cannot express our gratitude enough and appreciation for you to be here with us today and provide us with some very thought-provoking opening remarks. And to echo President Goldsmith's opening comments, we very much appreciate your continued support, not only in our racial equity, diversity, and inclusion efforts, but more specifically with our justice-involved students. And we also want to thank you and the Chancellor's Office in general, because Fresno City College is one of 50 colleges to receive funding that allows us to operate the Rising Scholars program that we have on campus. So many thanks to you, many thanks to the Chancellor's Office and everyone who supports and makes these opportunities possible for our community. I now have the distinct pleasure to introduce a colleague, someone who I've gotten to know very, very well over the past couple years. And the reason why I've gotten to know this person so well over the past couple of years is because some of you might remember that we were supposed to host this symposium last year, and that was going to be in May. And of course, that was shortly after the onset of the pandemic, when we first discovered this reality that we're all trying to figure out and improve going forward. And that person is Dr. Cassandra Little. Dr. Little is an amazing advocate, champion for systems impacted people and systems impacted students. And I know many of you know of Dr. Little, but she's going to provide us with some direction for the symposium for today, as well as tomorrow. And one thing I want to mention before I turn it over to Dr. Little, who's going to introduce our keynote speaker, Danny, is that you can engage in the chat and use the chat feature to pose questions or talk with other folks as part of the keynote this morning. So feel free to do that if you'd like to, and we certainly welcome it. Well, without further ado, I want to turn it over to Dr. Little. Dr. Little, the floor is yours, and thank you for your continued support with our program and our services for systems impacted students.
I appreciate that. And like Ray said, this is something we've been working on over the past 2 years. So like I stated, Ray is like my brother from another mother. We have spent a lot of time together putting this together. So first of all, I just want to say good morning. I hope you've had your first or second or third cup of coffee or tea, whichever you prefer. And you're prepared for what we have coming at you the next couple of days. Similar to President Goldsmith, I like to start with gratitude and thanks. I first want to say a thanks to Chancellor Oakley for having a vision that includes the needs of formerly incarcerated students on college campuses. I think it's essential, and it starts, and this type of mission starts at the top. And so I want to thank you for that, Chancellor. And I also want to take a moment to thank President Goldsmith for allowing the Chancellor's Oakley's vision to be a part of the Fresno City College community. That's a true testament to your leadership. And I know for myself, I'm completely appreciative of that. Now I'll be remiss if I don't say a thanks to my crew in the State Student Equity Department. You know, starting with Dr. Pimentel, who brought me on, and as we started talking about this project a couple of years ago. Dr. Ramirez, who, like I said, is like my brother from another mother. Gloria, who has since moved on, but still behind the scenes are helping us with this project. She's been with us all along, pushing us along, and passed the reins on to Celia, who has got us here today. And as you'll hear later on through the symposium, you know, I want to give a special thanks to my people Victoria Rocha and Alex Banda, who are the pioneers for Fresno City College Rising Scholars Program. I've worked in the community for the past couple of years, and there's one person that I can't leave out of this. A person that before I knew all those other people on campus that people said you can call and he will help any student, particularly students who were impacted, and that was Mark Nemeth. I just want to say thank you, Mark, for always providing me a warm handoff for students when I didn't know where to send them to help them navigate through the process. So our goal over the next 2 days are to educate, collaborate, and to inspire you all to become allies in the mission to not only gain proximity to the needs and the challenges of formerly incarcerated students, but to also join in on their successes, right? We want you to understand that the power of higher education community and its ability to assist impacted students with uplifting and transforming their lives. You know, as myself as a lifelong learner and educator, I know from experience what education can and do for you. I also know that knowledge is power. I take that serious. I'm gonna say that again, knowledge is power. And after today, all of you who are participating in this symposium will know someone who has been impacted. Think about that. Many people, are maybe asking, well, why are we having this conversation? We talk extensively about race and equity, especially over the past few years. Well, statistically, we cannot discuss race and equity, particularly on college campuses, without discussing mass incarceration and impact on students who have been impacted, and particularly students of color, community members, and women. So that is why we're here today and tomorrow. We also want you to know that we encourage our rising scholars to not use their past as shovels to dig their own graves. That's not what we do. Our goal is not to support students to feel that something special is owed to them. We are determined to empower our rising scholar students to embrace their stories, create their own narratives, and use their journeys as pillars to lift themselves, their family, and their communities up. Maya Angelou once said, well, actually, she said it over and over again, do the best you can until you know better. Then when you know better, you do better. So after today, you all will be in the know, right? So all of us within the Student Equity Department expect you all to do better when it comes to addressing the needs of formerly incarcerated students on campus. So thank you for your time, and please enjoy the symposium. Provide us some feedback. We welcome it all, and goodbye.